How's it going, Eliminators? Today, we'll be installing some Diode Dynamics LED lights on my 2019 Ford F-150. Now, this is just the first video in what will end up being a series of videos featuring my truck getting LED upgrades made by Diode Dynamics. Now, this is not a paid sponsorship, but Diode Dynamics was kind enough to send these lights to me at no cost, so a big shout out goes to them for supporting the channel. Today, we'll be focusing on upgrading the rear cargo lights as well as the third brake light since they're located in the same housing. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So coming to the back of the truck, there's going to be 4 screws holding the third brake light / cargo light housing into place. You can either use a 7mm socket or a T20 Torx bit to remove these. I'll be using my Milwaukee cordless ratchet to remove these 4 screws. Once you remove the screws, simply pull on the housing to separate it from the truck. We'll now have access at the connectors that we'll need to remove in order to replace the bulbs. Now, in order to remove these connectors, simply twist them in a counterclockwise leftward rotation and they should come loose. However, you'll notice that you won't be able to pull the connector all the way out, and that's because the wires are going to be held in place by some plastic retaining clips at the bottom of the housing. Simply pull the wires from the clips and you'll now be able to remove the bulb and the connector from the housing. We'll then repeat this step for the remaining connectors, just twist and they pop right out. You can now take your light housing and place it off to the side for the time being. Once you have the harness separated from the housing, go ahead and pull out the factory halogen bulbs from the connectors. Disassembly is as simple as that. So to start things off, we'll be replacing the factory halogen cargo bulbs with a set of 921 socket Diode Dynamics HP36 LED lights. Now, these lights have a low power consumption at just over 2 watts with a typical draw of about 175 milliamps. Coming in at 210 lumens, these LED cargo lights will be a significant upgrade over the stock halogen bulbs. So not only will they be brighter when compared to the factory bulbs, but they'll also consume less power and have a longer lasting life due to built-in voltage spike protection. The Diode Dynamics HP36 LEDs also feature what's known as a non-polar terminal, meaning there's no negative or positive sides. You simply plug it in and it'll work, regardless of which way it's plugged in. So with the factory bulbs removed, we can now go ahead and install our new cargo lights. Just make sure that you press them down firmly until you feel the terminal snap into place. Now that we have both of our cargo lights installed, we'll move on to installing our third brake light. Next up, we'll be replacing the factory halogen third brake light with Diode Dynamics' new 921 XPR. Now, these bulbs have a slightly higher power consumption at just over 4 watts with a typical draw of about 310 milliamps. Coming in at 60 lumens, this red 921 XPR LED third brake light will be a significant upgrade compared to the stock halogen. It also features built-in resistors for error-free operation. This means that, unlike a lot of cheap LED bulbs from Amazon or eBay, these lights will not prompt an error code on newer vehicles. However, unlike the HP36 cargo bulbs that feature non-polarized terminals, the 921 XPR has a polarized terminal, meaning it does have negative and positive sides, which means you should test it before reassembling the housing, as you may need to flip the bulb around. And just like the cargo lights, simply press the bulb in until you feel the terminal snap into place. And as I mentioned earlier, I recommend testing the bulb before reinstalling the housing onto the truck, as this will prevent you from having to uninstall everything just to flip the bulb around. So with the key in the on position, depress the brake pedal and the third brake light should illuminate. If it doesn't, simply flip the LED light around. We can see that ours works, so we're ready to reinstall the connector onto the housing. And with a clockwise twist to the right, the connector is now secure. Now, I should note that if you have a 2011 to 2014 Ford F-150, you'll actually be able to use Diode Dynamics 921 XPR bulbs as cargo lights by purchasing them in 6000K bright white instead of the red used for the third brake light. Those bulbs will put out 1600 lumens when they're first powered up, but will drop to a more stable 720 lumen output as they remain illuminated. The 921 XPR bulbs are the brightest self-contained bulbs on the market, so as you could imagine, they'd be a huge improvement over the 210 lumen output of the HP36 cargo bulbs. However, with that increase in performance, you'll also notice an increase in size. And unfortunately, that size difference will prevent us from using the 921 XPR bulbs as cargo lights, as Ford actually altered the design of the third brake light housing for all 2015 plus F-150 models, making the cargo light area more shallow, not allowing for the larger, yet brighter 921 XPR cargo bulbs to be used here. Once you have the wires pushed back into the clips on the bottom, we're ready to reinstall the housing back onto the truck. Now there's going to be 2 alignment tabs on the ends of this light housing so you want to make sure that they're lined up first. Once you get those tabs lined up, press the light housing and you should feel it fall into place. We can now go ahead and reinstall our 4 screws. So that wraps up our install. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. I'll bring you back once it's dark and we'll have a look at just how much of a difference these lights truly make. So first up is our factory halogen cargo bulbs. We can see here that they're very yellow. They're not very bright and they don't illuminate the cargo area all that well. Yet once we install just one of the Diode Dynamics HP36 LED cargo lights, the difference is already quite substantial. And if we switch back and forth between the two pictures, you can already see a huge improvement with just one HP36 cargo bulb. So once again, we'll go back to the factory halogen bulbs, but now we'll switch over to both HP36 LED lights installed, and instantly we can see a significant increase in cargo lighting. And it's quite clear that compared to the factory halogens, the Diode Dynamics HP36 LEDs definitely throw more light. It's also a 6000K bright white, so everything just looks much cleaner as well, and I'm extremely pleased with this upgrade. And last but not least, with the brakes applied, we now have the red 921 XPR third brake light shining brightly. Big improvement over how much red light is projected out of the back of the truck compared to the factory halogen. So that wraps up today's LED upgrade video. Again, big shout out goes to Diode Dynamics for sending these lights my way, and I'll have more LED upgrade videos coming to the channel in the near future, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. Now there's a good chance that Diode Dynamics makes LED upgrades for your vehicle, so if you want to check out their products, make sure you go to www.diodedynamics.com. Link will be in the description and the comments down below. All LED lights made by Diode Dynamics feature a hassle-free 3-year warranty, and their customer service sets the bar for what should be an industry standard. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, think about leaving me a thumbs up. You know, it really helps me out. You can click here to subscribe and click over here to watch one of my previous videos. I upload every single week, so be sure to stop on by next week, check channel out for new content, and as always guys, thanks for watching.